Hi everybody, it's Cathryn from the Pink Designs, and today I am using the Festive Friends stamp set. It's adorable. It has 3 of these figures, some sentiments, a tree, and some snowflakes, and I do love the dies. There is a tag, some snowflakes, a couple of trees. This time I used it for the label, but I believe it's really supposed to be the top of the tag, but I wasn't using it for that today. Okay, so my box measures 2 3/4 by 4 by 1. Opens like this, flips down, and inside I have this pretty ornament from the dollar spot at Target. I'm actually going to turn these into magnets for my fridge, but they were only $1 and I thought they were just so pretty. There was a nutcracker one also that I didn't get. And there's a wreath and a beautiful bells with some greenery too. So they're all pretty. I'm probably going to make magnets to put on my fridge. All right, what we need today is a piece of real red that is 11 by 6 3/4. I cut out the tree from shaded spruce, and I cut 2 of the tags, one from real red and one from the Christmas tags and more stamps, designer series paper, and we're using the back side for the rest of the box. All right, so for the DSP, we need 2 pieces that are 2 1/2 by 3 3/4, 1 piece that is 2 5/8 by 3 7/8, 2 pieces that are 3/4 by 3 3/4, and 2 pieces that are 2 1/2 by 3/4. All of that will be on my blog, which is linked below. Let me get my Simply Scored. All right, we're going to start on the 11-inch side first. Score at 1, 2, 6, and 7. Turn it to the 6 3/4 inch side and score at 1, 2, 4 3/4, and 5 3/4. All right, now fold and burnish the score lines. Okay, so how we have it is there are 2 1-inch strips on this side and 2 on the top and the bottom. And this is what we're going to be doing. Okay, we're going to start over here. Okay, go to the first score line, cut it to the second score line, and take off those 2 squares. Go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, take off the bottom square, and wedge the top square. All right, now go to the next 2 score lines and cut them to the second score line. Take off the bottom square and wedge the top. And now we're going to take these 2 pieces off. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Go to the first score line, cut it to the second score line, and take those 2 rectangles off. Go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, take off the bottom square, and wedge the top one. Okay, go to the next 2 score lines and cut them to the second score line. Take off these 2 outer ones, squares. Take off the bottom one on this section, and then wedge this square. All right. Then we need our corner rounder, and we're going to round all of these corners. All right, and that is what your cardstock should look like when you're done. Now we're going to get our glue, and let's start over here. Put glue on these two tabs and take the score line and match it up with the side of this inside rectangle. Okay, now we're going to move down to these and attach it to the same rectangle, just the other side. Okay, and that is your box. We're doing it this way today. All right, so now we need our DSP. So the larger piece, the one that is 2 5/8 by 3 7/8, we're going to round the top corners. Okay, and then we're going to put it right on this top. I wanted it just a little bit bigger so that we could see, because the tag was pretty big on this. So I wanted you to see a little bit more of the DSP on the sides. Okay, and then the other two pieces, we're going to have to round one of them again. Okay, and we're going to put one here, and for a change I'm going to put one on the inside bottom of the box. This will look really pretty if you put some loose candy, but it also looks nice with this to have it behind it. It looks pretty. Okay, and then these are for the long sides and those are for the short sides. Okay, and we'll let that dry a minute. Okay, now we're going to get some Tuxedo Black Ink, and we're going to ink up our snowman. And I'm going to cut that out, but first we need real red. And I'm going to do We Wish You a Merry Christmas sentiment. Great. And then I'm going to take this die and this die, which usually folds in half and covers the tag, but we're going to use that to cut out our sentiment. It fits nicely right between there. I like how this fits right between that. All right, now we're going to use a couple of Stampin' blends for this. I'm using light and dark real red, light pool party, dark pumpkin pie, light shaded spruce, and light bubble bath. All right, first I'm going to do the light pumpkin pie, and I'm going to just create some shadow. I'm going to go under his hat, down the side, below his scarf, on this side of his body, and over to the bottom. All right. I don't know if you can see it because it's pretty light, but it makes kind of a shadow. Okay, and then I'm going to use dark and light real red. First, I'm going to put some light real red in the middle. No, whoa. I'm going to use this one's going to be red right here. So in the middle of our reds, I'm going to put light, and then in the middle of the bow and the scarf, and on the outside edges of the scarf. And then I'm going to add dark red to the outsides. Okay, and then I'm going to use the shaded spruce on the other 3 pieces of the hat. All right, then I'm going to use the dark pumpkin pie on the nose and the light bubble bath just to make some cheeks. It might look nicer without the cheeks. I think I'm going to leave it without the cheeks this time. All right. Then I'm going to take some Wink of Stella glitter, which Stampin' Up! Does sell. You can get it from other places, but if you're doing an order, it's probably cheaper to just get it from Stampin' Up! I'm going to do the bally on his hat and the brim here. Or you could just do the snowman and leave everything plain. Okay. Actually, I'm going to do his eyes to give them a little bit of sparkle, and his mouth pieces, the coal. Okay, I love him. All right, now we need our 2 pieces of our, I cut out 2 of these tags, one from Real Red and one from the Tags and More DSP. Christmas Tags and More DSP, sorry about that. And I'm going to glue these 2 together, just so that when we pop it up, it's a little stiffer. Okay, and then we're going to put down our sentiment about a ½ an inch up from the bottom. Let's split it. It almost reaches the whole thing. Okay. Then we'll glue on our tree. I'm going to go towards the left and just on top of the tag. Alright, then we need some dimensionals for our snowman. My order comes in probably Thursday, so by next week I should have my dimensionals. And then I'm going to put him a little over to the right so you can see the tree, and the bottom of him just above the stamped sentiment. There you go. I love that. All right, now we're going to bring in our box. Put in, this time I'll put the wreath in. I'm going to cut off the money. And I'll put that in there. So sweet. Okay, now we're going to use some shiny ribbon, Real Red one. And this is a little tricky. So, put this around with the tail on the bottom. Okay, make sure you give yourself enough to tie it at the top. Okay. And I'm going to take a dimensionals, well, my dimensionals for now. And I'm going to secure the ribbon. Okay. Then put some dimensionals on the back of our tag. And now before I put it down, I'm going to put our ribbon through the hole and pull it up as far as I can. I got it attached. There we go. Okay. And then make sure that it's kind of in the right spot and put it down right in the middle over the ribbon. Then we're going to tie a bow at the top. Oops, it's not on the back. There we go. Now you could, if you don't want to do this, you could totally use a Velcro dot to close it if you want. There we go. And this time, unfortunately, I got almost all of the underside of the ribbon. I just don't like one-sided ribbon because I'm always tying bows and it's just not the best. Okay, my opinion. Alrighty, now we're going to, we already did our Wink of Stella, so now I need our peppermints. And I'm going to put a large and a small on the bottom here. And then a medium right over there on the side of the hat. Put that beside that. And there's your box. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And if you would like to purchase anything, my address is below. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.